Now, this guy is not his first time having a situation like this. According to the Shade Room, his ex-wife, Sydney Dalcour, he was responsible for her death. She was found shot to death outside of her car in New Orleans. Check this out.
So that was your current girlfriend?
I ain't got no girlfriend at all. You feel me? Only thing is my wife. That's the only girl, you feel me, that ever, my wife.
But Lewis didn't go into detail about his wife because she's also dead. 25-year-old Sydney Dalcour, who was also a rapper that went by China Doll. This is her sister, Tracy.
So she was married to Justin for 5 years. He was really abusive to her. He fought her a lot. Like, he gave her black eyes. He put her in the hospital. She had to have staplers in her head. Like, say if she get like pretty and stuff, he a fighter for that.
As a family, did y'all ever talk about getting her away from him? I mean, seeing her with bruises, black eyes, all of that?
All the time.
Her cousin, Mariah Dyer.
She loved him so much. I think she had hope and dreams that he would change his ways, and he never did.
And it went too far. May 18, 2017, Dalcour was found shot to death in her car outside an apartment complex in New Orleans. Police back then said that she was parked between two buildings with the engine still running. Her family said she had just gotten off work as a waitress.
We all instantly knew he had something to do with it because, like my cousin said, she had no problems with nobody. She was loved. She was adored by everybody.
He was never charged for the murder against his ex-wife, but it happened in a very similar fashion to this young lady who was pregnant with his child, already had 2 kids. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to anybody's family, so this is not what I'm trying to do, or the young lady, but my question has to be, what is it that a woman sees in general in a man like this? Like, listen to what he raps about. If you were to listen to what he raps about, you know, so a man thinketh, so is he. Shout out to Sinful to Pete, right? And that is in the scriptures. So then when you see these young ladies out here in Black America, they are even thinking about even dealing with a man like this. They fall in love with a man like this. My question has to be, where are some of these ladies' minds at? You know?
That's a good question, O'Shea. Where they minds at, Meek, Lamb? Where they minds at?
Honestly, the lady, she hit on it. She said that she felt like she could change him. Mm-hmm. I think that women put too much focus on trying to change people, and we need to put more focus on accepting people for who they are. It's like the nurturer and the nurturing woman in us wants to help a man get to where he needs to be. And it's like, okay, he's short in this area, so let's build him up. But sometimes we need to see that some things just can't be fixed. And beating me is one of them. Like, I'm not sticking around to see if you're going to grow out of that. I'm not getting knocked out a bunch of times to see if you're going to change. No. You going to jail.
He deleted a woman. You know, he wasn't charged. He went and knocked some other woman up. Then now he allegedly deleted her too.
I'm assuming that she didn't know that happened with the other wife. I think because if she knew and she stayed with him, then I don't understand it. But I think that the issue is that whole lifestyle is just super glamorized. Like, it's like fun and cool, and like that's what the young kids are doing, and that's what everybody's doing, and that's unfortunately how things have always been. Like, there's always been people like that, but because of the way that the world is now, just on such a grand scale, that was just taken over. And it's sad when you hear stuff like that. Like I said before, like none of that ever has to happen, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think when I think it was a sister, I don't know who it was, that said that she never had any problems with anybody, but I'm looking at all of them, and it seems as if, like, maybe they can't identify like what actual issues are because they're just so in it that they just think it's normal or something. Like, I don't know, because from the outside looking in, you're like, this is crazy, but they were saying, oh no, everything was fine with us. But I find that hard to believe, you know? So I think they're just stuck in a bubble that they can't seem to get out of, and it's just like the cycle just keeps on going.
Is it safe to say that money has something to do with the acceptance of this madness?
Oh, of course.
I don't think
It's a
so.
lifestyle. It's a glamorization of it. Money, like the things, like the fame, like the bragging rights. It's all of that. It's all of it. They want to flex on other people, other women, or whatever. Like that's what I think.
And I feel sorry for some brothers, man. You know, the sisters seem to give their attention to the thug a-hole, and it's unfortunate for these good brothers. And that's why, you know, I like Kevin Samuel's movement, Glory to the Godfather. And overall, his movement was revenge, you know, of the nerds, for lack of a better term, revenge of the smart kids. And that to me is dope. You know, I was just stereotypical jock, but I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd at heart, and I get it. Like traveling the journey I've traveled, I've seen the women go for the thug guys over the good, wholesome men, simply because they like that rah energy. And it don't seem to even go away with age. I'm talking about college, but even as adults in our 30s and 40s, is still an allure that today's modern woman can't seem to resist. And it's crazy.
My daddy said it's a condition for being in the hood. We literally just had this conversation yesterday, and I'm gonna steal something he said. He said, if you throw a belt on a brother, it's a repellent against sisters. I was like, you funny. He's like, if his butt ain't hanging out, women will look past him, especially his own women. And I'm like, that's so sad, but it's true, you know, like it's just what happens when you're in the hood. It's like I just think it's like control. Women know, like, okay, if I get Pookie off the block and if he get tied up, I know he gonna be in jail. But little nerdy Ricardo, I don't know what he gonna pan out to be, and I don't know what that's gonna look like. And then if for real he takes off and ends up in that world, that Mr. Six-Figure world, that heightens up the competition. And those women that choose the Pookie and the Ray Rays are not looking to compete. Like they're not looking to maintain themselves. So it's just like the work is harder. So it's like, I'm gonna go down here where it's easier.
Okay. I'm buying that. So Bonquisha, like, I'm gonna pick Nug because he giving me this instant gratification with the meat clashing, and I don't plan on competing. I know he ain't practicing monogamy because it's simply who he is. So I ain't even worried about competing. I'm just gonna play my part and
yeah, like people, and they take the path of least resistance. So if they're not going to expect anything, if they don't have any standards for a woman, and you know other men do, then they're going to go with the one that's the easiest for them. Like Meek was saying, it's easy. Everyone's going to do what's easiest. The people that succeed and do better are the ones that go in opposition to that. Like they do what's hard. And I'm sorry, like the modern women and the men, they're lazy. Like they just want what's the easiest and the fastest and the quickest, and that's the detriment to us all.
Yes, I agree. That's what's destroying us. That instant gratification. The internet has ruined us.